A woman hops on TikTok and tells the whole internet she dated a man who killed his baby mama. Now I know what y'all thinking right now, but listen, what really went down, girl, is worse than anything you got cooking up in your head. And before you start typing, I would have left in the comments. Let me tell you something. You ain't never been offered what this woman was offered. Period.
Telling me your baby mama is dead and this lady is very much alive, well, and kicking is diabolical. But baby, it's a story behind that. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, and welcome to my new series, Dating a Man Who Killed His Children's Mother Off. Now I know y'all like, what in the heck is this lady talking about again? This girl be going through some shit. And I do, y'all. I promise you, I do. But this is not nothing that I can make up. This is for real. This is not a fire drill, baby. Y'all, this man had me so in love with him, convinced that he was it. They be getting me. I just believe that everybody got this good heart and they just not gonna get down on me. And baby, people be getting down, but that's neither here nor there because we are well past him. However, I thought this would be a great story time for y'all because baby, my boy was a mess. He was a mess. So for social media's sake, I am not going to call this man by his real name. I am going to give him a alternative name and we just gonna call him Don, okay? So let's get right into this thing. This was about 7 or 8 years ago. I was freshly in nursing school and my boys were going to daycare across town. So I had to take them to daycare, but I didn't have class that day. And I want to say this was on a Friday. Actually, it was. It was on a Friday because I didn't have class that day and I had a lot of like freedom to maneuver. So I had taken the boys to daycare. I went to go get some gas and I went to go vacuum out my car because little Mario at the time was just so nasty. Every time you look around, he was dropping something, throwing something on the floor. So my back seat was always ridiculous. So I went to go vacuum out my car. And I do remember, vacuuming it out or whatever, getting everything out. And then I went to get in my car and this guy pulled up and was like, hey. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Didn't think nothing of it, because I thought like maybe he was just speaking. So he's like, man, you need some help vacuuming out your car. I'm like, well, I'm pretty much done now. And so I was like, no, thank you, but thank you. And so he was like, well, let me pay for your gas. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm not going to lie to y'all. He had a nice little car. I was like, okay, sir. He had a nice little, had some little shoes on it. I was like, okay. Handsome older fella. I don't know what it is with the older guys. It's like if I go older, they don't do right. If I go younger, they don't do right. But that's neither here nor there. So he pays for my gas. I pulled to the pump. He paid for my gas. And he ain't just putting a little bit of gas in my car, y'all, either. He filled my car up. And at the time, I was not a Benzo driving shorty. I was a Pontiac driving shorty. So at that point, $40 filled up my little Pontiac. And baby, I was well on my little way. I was too happy. I said, okay, he done filled up my car. Okay, cool. So we exchanged. So we ended up exchanging numbers. We were texting for a while. Then he ended up calling me, asking me, what I got going on. What is it that I want to do? And so I started to like tell him. And at the time I was selling mixed drinks. So this was like my little hustle, I would say. And I was like really, really good at what I was doing, mixing. I had went to like this bartending class. So I had got all the, credentials to do it and everything. And so I was telling him about that. I was telling him I was in school for nursing, so on and so forth. And so he was like really, really interested in what I had going on. So he asked me what I was doing later on that evening. And at the time, my kids were on a schedule where they would go with their dads every other weekend. So every other weekend, I was literally pretty much kid free from Friday evening to like Monday morning. Because sometimes they would drop them off in the morning or sometimes they would just take them to daycare and then I would be the pickup. But anyway, we ended up setting a time for like maybe I think 8 o'clock to meet. And so I got, everything together. So immediately I called my sister. I'm like, hey, I met this guy. He's cool. Be my wingman. I need you to go with me. I don't want to go with him by myself. And at the time, I think I was a little intimidated by older men. And so I didn't want to go by myself. However, it was a good thing I did end up taking my sister because, baby, baby, it was crazy. So the day went on, me and my sister talking about it. She like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go. So we ended up, meeting up. I'm like, hey, come to grandma's house. He going to pick us up from here. Cool. So I'm like, let me get the kids situated. She went and handled what she had to handle for that day. And I went and handled what I had to handle. Fast forward, got the boys off to their dads. I done got dressed. And at the time, I was one of them girls who loved pink. I would wear love pink everywhere. Baby, you couldn't tell me nothing. I would wear a love pink two-piece in a minute. That was my wardrobe. I had every jogging suit, every yoga pants set, everything they had up in there, baby. Shirt, crew neck, hoodie, I had it. And so that's what I wanted to wear. So I ended up putting it on. Real cute little two-piece set. And my sister ended up pulling up over there. So he ends up, texting me like, hey, I'm on my way. So I tell him like, hey, my sister's with me, so maybe you should bring somebody. I just didn't want to be with him on my own by myself that soon. And so he was like, yeah, that's cool. I'll bring my brother. So he pulls up to my grandmother's house and me and my sister come out. Again, nice car, but this not the car I saw him in earlier. So now I'm like, what the heck? Who have I just ran into? Like, what is going on? So we get in the car, super chauvinist, like super, super chauvinistic. I think I'm saying that word right. Oh, well, if I'm not, y'all get my point. He opened the doors. His brother opened the doors. So immediately he was like, y'all like to gamble? And so me, I love to gamble. So I'm like, yeah, come on. And so he was like, let's go to the casino. So we end up going to the casino. We go to the casino, we get in, we have a time. Baby, we drinking. So I go to the bathroom. My sister comes with me. And so we trying to figure out like the situation. So I'm like, sis, what's tea? You like them? You don't like them? What's going on? And the first thing she say is, the brother is irritating. He's nibbling on my ear. He's whispering in my ear and he's getting on my nerve. So I'm like, well, that's not answering my question about dude. So what's up? So she like, no, he cool. He's not cheap. He's spending, everything. So we goes back out of the bathroom. I tell him like, hey, I'm hungry, but I don't want the casino food. I didn't want no steakhouse food and I didn't want no all you can eat buffet food. I wanted some ghetto food because we was drinking, so I'm like, man, let's go get some tacos. So we ended up leaving the casino maybe about an hour or two later, and now we like tipsy. So he like, yeah, let's go get some liquor. Let's go to go get tacos. So we ended up stopping at this liquor store that happens to be by a taco place. So that was convenient. We ended up getting us some liquor. And at the time, I was a dark drink. I was a Douce girly. And baby, I used to drink Douce out the bottle. But mind your business, friend, because that's my business. That's my business. That's what I used to do. But that's the past. We're not talking about the past right now. However, we got us some little drinky drinks and then went ahead and got the tacos. Okay, so for all my Chicago people, if y'all know them Lakeshore Drive rides are everything. So that's what we decided to do. We wasn't ready to go in the house. It was pretty late. It was like maybe 12:31. So not like super late, but it was late. And at least for me, it was late. I'm a TT. I be sleep by 9 o'clock. But we went ahead, ate our tacos, and then we just took that ride. We sipped and enjoyed the little time that we was in the car. We played us some Future. We played us some Travis Scott, TK Kravis. I guess that's how you say his name. Whatever. I just remember all the R&B and the slow jams was going. And baby, I was feeling it. I was sitting there like, and you couldn't tell me nothing. We was having a ball. My sister was in the back seat though, y'all, having, when I say all types of emotions back there, she was texting me. I'm up front just having a time. She in the back telling me that she ready to go. Part 2 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. I know, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. So let's get into the rest of this story time. Okay, I'm ready. So we ended up finally parking. He was like, hey, y'all could come to my crib. So we ended up going to his crib. We ended up like playing some cards, chilling out. He and I went to go like talk separately in his room. My sister and his brother were in the front room. We were texting the whole time, and the whole time she telling me like he's nibbling on my ear. He's nibbling on my ear. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I was crying laughing. Like when I say I could not be serious with this man for 1 minute, because all I keep seeing is my phone light up, and I keep seeing her tell me like, hey, this dude is crazy, woo, woo. But I'm liking dude, so I'm trying to like continue to talk to him. It was just too much going on at the time. But when I tell y'all, we got through the night, so we literally didn't go to sleep. Nobody went to sleep. Everybody was up until like 5 that morning. Now at the time, my sister was working overnights, but she was doing overtime, so she had to get to work. So that was our excuse to leave. So we like, oh yeah, you know, my sister got to go to work, da, 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 da. Now, mind y'all, he picked us up. So now he got to drop us back off to my car. But here's the kicker. I stay 3 blocks away from his spot. So I'm like, dang, that's real, real close. So anyway, he dropped us off. She goes to work. I go home. I shower. I go to sleep. I wake back up. It's maybe like, I don't know, like 4 o'clock. I got all type of missed calls from her, all type of missed calls from him. Baby, it was all type of stuff going on. So I end up returning her call first. Me and her end up talking. She like, yeah, I like him. He cool, but I'm never going out with the brother again. The brother is weird. He don't know if he like you or me. And so in my head, I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, the whole night he was like kind of like hinting that he felt some type of way that his brother saw you first. But at the same time, he was like nibbling on me, trying to like get with me. She was like, I really didn't know what was going on, and I was only coming to be your wingman. I'm never going out with him again. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, what do you think, you know, about him? He was like, nah. She's like, nah, you know, he's cool. He was really, really sweet, real gentleman. He's not cheap. You know, he's willing to spend his money. Woo, woo. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, now he texted me saying he wanted to come out again. What you think? She was like, yeah, go out with him, but I'm not coming with you. So I text him back. Now, mind y'all, this is my weekend free, so I have no kids. There was no Mila even in sight. Miles and Mario were gone. So I'm like, okay, let me text him back. So I text him back. He ended up telling me like, hey, you know, you feel like riding with me to go drop my son off? Now I'm like, yo, son, you know, it's a little early to be dropping. But then he was like, just drop him off. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing nothing. What's the harm in that? So he comes to pick me up. He like, hey, we're going to drop him off at my mom's house. My mom is getting all the kids, my nieces, my nephews, and then we're going to, me and you could go out somewhere. So I'm dressed. I'm like casual, but I'm dressed. And so he was like, let's go to Longhorn. So we ended up dropping his son off to his mom's. I stayed in the car. I did not go in. But he ended up dropping his son off in like Maywood, which I'm very familiar with the area. So I was like, oh, okay, he's like, he got to be from around like the way, but I've never seen him, never heard of him. So I was kind of like really wanting to get to know like more about him. So y'all, now mind you, we went to the casino the night before. So the ID that he pulls out, you know, he got to show to get into the casino. So we go to Longhorn, we order our drinks, the waiter asks for our ID. So he's like, oh, I left my ID. But in my head, I'm like, that ID was in a wallet yesterday. First red flag. I don't know no men that change their wallet like that. Like, unless it's finna go with your outfit that day, I don't know no men that's like change their wallet when they change their clothes. Now, it could be me. But I seen a wallet in his pocket. So in my head, I'm like, is he finna try to play with me? Like, not pay this bill? Because, like, you know, it is Longhorn. I'm not tripping. But, dude, don't play with me. Like, of course, I didn't come out with no money. But don't play with me. So the guy was like, no, it's okay. And in my head, I'm like, you really carding him? Like, I see the gray hairs peeping through the beard. But, okay. But anyway, he ended up letting him get his drink. Let me get my drink. So we talking. He telling us about himself. Now, mind you, I told y'all that for social media purposes, we're going to say his name is another name. However, I'm going to tell y'all the name that he told me his name was. He told me that his name was Greg. So whole time he's telling me, this is his name. He's telling me his hood name is G Thing, and that, this is like, that's his like nickname because that's what people call him, whatever, so on and so forth. So we getting to know each other, he's just telling me everything. At least I think he's telling me everything. I'm being very transparent, telling him I'm in school and all of that good stuff. And so, like I said earlier, he was really invested, like even more invested than the first couple of phone calls. So that day went good. He ended up dropping me off later on that evening. He was trying to get me to stay, but I was ready to go outside with my friends. I was trying to update them on him. So he ended up like, okay, how about, I'll take you home or whatever. You gonna get ready, go do what you're gonna do with your friends. Call me at the end of the night and I see where you at. Maybe I'll come scoop you. Maybe we can have a little nightcap. And we all know what he was really on. But at the end of the day, I wasn't on none of that. So I was like, yeah, I'll let you know, whatever. He was like, yeah, so you going outside, how much you need? So in my head, I'm like, huh? Now, it's only one other guy in my entire life that I've ever met that has spoiled me. And when I say spoiled me, has like taken care of me to the point where like there is no need and it's always dependable. I'm not saying that the men that I've dealt with prior to do not handle what they're supposed to handle when it comes to me. But when I say showered me, like he was one of the ones. I have like 3, and them out of them top 3, he was one of them top 3. And so he was like, yeah, how much you need? So I'm like, what you mean? Like to go outside? He was like, yeah, how much you need? So I'm like, do I lowball this man? Do I give him this high number? So I just roll with 400. He busts him out. No problem. All 20s. Here you go. I say, oh yeah, I'm going outside with my friends. So I go home and get dressed. I call my friends like, yeah, well, we meeting there. Woo, woo, woo. I'm telling them everything. So I'm updating my sister. So she like, yeah, So she like, yeah, let's go this place or whatever like that. So he calls me like, have you left out yet? I'm like, no, I'm getting ready to leave out in a minute. I'm getting ready to head to my car. He was like, well, if you give me about 15 minutes, I could come bring you a car and you don't have to drive your car. So I'm like, okay, well, that's fine or whatever. I'm like, but, do you have insurance? Like, I'm trying to make sure I'm covered at all bases. He was like, yeah, the insurance going to be in the glove compartment. Just make sure you put gas in the car. He was like, if you need me to give you some more money for gas, then I'll go ahead and do that. He was like, matter of fact, nah, you're not even going to pump that gas. Let me go put some gas in it right now, and then I'll bring it to you. So 15 minutes ended up being like 20. So I'm like, okay, clock it, check you out. I ain't going to pump no gas. That's my type of man. So I'm really digging it. So 15, 20 minutes go past. He calling me. He pulling up. He like, hey, this is my cousin. He's going to drive me. You could drive this car. So, y'all, this is a Cadillac truck. A Cadillac truck. I wish I still had pictures. I wish I still had videos. I'm going to have to ask one of my friends or something if they have some memories. Y'all, when I tell y'all, the man literally just gave me the car. Just gave me the car. And me and my friends was outside in this man's car with $400 just to be outside. Not to do nothing else. Not for no bills, not for nothing. Just to be outside. All right, y'all. Part 3 of dating a man who killed off his children's mother. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom and Princess Strawberry. So let's finish this up. Let's keep going. So because I was in nursing school and I was in college, I really didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities. Like I said, I was staying at home with my grandmother in the basement apartment of our family building. So pretty much my grandparents own this building and they've only rented to pretty much family or close family friends. So I was in the basement area and I really didn't have no bills. Like my grandparents didn't charge me any rent. I did contribute. I helped with whatever it is. I made sure it was food in the house. They didn't pay for groceries at all. Different things like that, how I could contribute. So now in my head, and like I said, I'm younger. I'm like, man, I don't got my kids every other weekend. This man is giving me money on a regular. And then on top of that, I can go outside. He's not like overbearing. He's not getting on my nerves. He not irritating me about what I'm doing, but I'm also not irritating him about what he doing. Like, it was the life at the time. So I was like, okay, I can get jiggy with this. So months go on, and now it's getting like cold outside. So I met him in the summer. I'll say like July. So now it's getting to be kind of cold outside. I'm not going to say it's full blown winter. It's October. It's getting to be around Sweetest Day. So I'm liking him. So we've been talking, and mind you, he's giving me this money on the regular. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to go buy him something for Sweetest Day then. Since, he giving me this money, doing this, doing that. And so, like I said, this been going on for months of him showering me with gifts, bringing me a different car to drive when I want to, flowers every time he's coming to get me for dates, unlimited money when it's time for me to go outside, and then ended up asking me how much my schooling was, and he basically paid the rest of my schooling. So I'm feeling him, y'all. I'm like, okay, this man is stepping for me. I ain't got no problems. We ain't got no issues. So like I said, we're still living apart. It's still very, very fresh, but he's laying it on me. So like I said, Sweetest Day is coming up, and now I'm like, okay, I want to get him something. So me and my friend, we end up going to the mall, going to go get him like some cologne. I end up getting like a little bottle of Hennessy, and I ended up decorating it. I always been a DIYer. Like decorating it and like getting these little letters and decorating those so I could put them out. We had taken like couple cute little pictures, so I didn't print them out and put them on these frames, and y'all. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm not gonna say it was a whole lot of effort, because for me, I like doing that type of stuff, but it was the time that I put into it that pissed me off with how everything ended up playing out. So like I said, Sweetest Day coming up. Now mind you, me and this man talk on the phone on the regular when he's at work. Now, mind you, he has a job, but he do what he do. And so I'm like, okay. So we talking at work. And I tell him, I'm like, hey, you know what we doing this weekend? He was like, hey, let's go away this weekend. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's go away. So he sent me these little cabins or whatever. They were not too far from Chicago, maybe like 2-3 hours away, just some like little getaway stuff or whatever. So he sends me his card to book it. I book it. We good. So now I'm looking for stuff to unpack. I'm looking, to like find me some cute little lounge wears. We finna get away. And mind you, this my weekend. The boys gone. So I'm free. I'm ready. Homework done for school. So now I'm like, yeah, this finna be the weekend. Cool. So Friday comes, and I'm like, man, he didn't call me, he didn't say nothing. But I called him and I texted him, no response, no answer. So I'm like, I'm hoping nothing happened. So maybe like noonish, I get a call and text. So I'm kind of like in my feelings, because I'm like, Dad, like it don't take that long to call nobody back, text nobody back. You could have said something. And so he is just real like apologetic. I'm sorry, babe. Had a lot going on this morning. I had to take my mama to go do this. I had to take my sister to go do that. All the kids going with my mom. So we doing this, doing that. Now, this is something that's kind of normal, at least that I'm thinking, because he's always taking his son to his mom's house. So I only know that he has this one child. That's the only thing that he's told me. And mind y'all, he's now pitched to me that his baby mother is not living. Now, the reason I say he pitched it to me is because of this. I kept wondering, like, why he always taking this little boy to the mom's house. So I asked, I'm like, why do you always take your son to your mom's house? Like, he don't go with his mom people, like what's kind of going on with that? He was like, nah, his mom is deceased. I've been raising him. She passed in a bad car accident. So my mom helps me a lot. My sisters. This man is feeding me this stuff that this little boy is just without a mother. And it's so messed up, because the little boy is even coerced to like agree with the daddy. Like, it was times where we were in the car dropping the baby off to the mom's house, and he's in the car basically like agreeing with everything the daddy said. Now, mind you, he's young, so I don't think that he know that he lying, or like what his daddy's saying is not true. Like, I don't think he understands it totally, but he's definitely agreeing. And because he keeps saying, Ma, I had the inkling that the son is basically like considering his grandmother his mom. So when he say, mama house, that's all that's assumed because that's how he's been playing it. Okay, so like I said, he has now pitched to me that he's this single dad. So I'm assuming, that he just, doing everything for this little boy by himself. But like I said, he's always dropping the baby off to his mom's house. So the mom is real active. So I'm thinking grandma's super active. That's mama. All good. And so now we get to Sweetest Day. Sweetest Day is here. He's telling me, he on his way all day. When I say all day, y'all, he's telling me he's on his way all day. But the thing is, he's always coming with an excuse of like why it's not right there in that moment. But it's all day. I'm on my way. Go get this, go get that. He's just steady sending me off. So I finally just get in my head that he's not telling me the truth. Like something is not right. He's not telling me the truth. Something is not it. And so I say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go outside. So that's exactly what I did. I went ahead. I called my friends. I said, hey, I'm ready to go outside. They're like, oh, we thought you was going with Don. Now, mind you, I told y'all, we going to call him Don, but he didn't tell me his name was Greg. So again, everybody thinking I'm going with him and Sweetest Day weekend. Woo. I'm like, no, he's sending me off. So he calls back. Y'all. And I'm just like, what's up? He like, yeah, I'm getting off at Manheim. Now, if you're out western, Manheim is the western suburb. And I'm just trying to figure out why you're getting off at Manheim just now when you've been telling me you're on your way. So I'm not paying him no mind. Again, I'm ready to go outside. So my friend like, yeah, I'm coming up Madison now. I'll be to you in the next 2 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I call him back and I'm like, you said you was where? He was like, yeah, I was getting off at Manheim. He was like, I'm going to call you back though. But in the background, I hear somebody say, yeah, we at Bricks. So mind y'all, it's the late evening. It's like maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish. So what you doing and how they partying if you in a car getting off at Manheim on your way to me? I don't understand it. So I'm like, okay, cool. My friend gets to me and I'm like, friend, he's lying. He's lying about where he at. It's something else going on. Whoa. So now I'm blowing his phone up, but he not answering. So he finally does answer. Now, mind you, I'm now in the car with my friends. We ran down Madison, and what car do I see, y'all? I see an Impala. I can't make this up. So I tell her, I say, follow that car. So now I'm really calling. So he answered again. He finally answers again. And he like, yeah, he's like, I'm driving down Madison now. I said, I know you're driving down Madison because I'm behind you. Pull over. So he's like, what are you talking about? Pull over. So y'all, back in my days, I used to be real toxic. And I used to be one of those pull up on the kid. I get out, act out while I see you. That was me. So I'm not going to go into details about what I told him if he didn't pull over, but he pulled over. I know y'all been waiting and I'm sorry. Vlogmas been taking me out, y'all. It is a challenge to vlog every day. Like, y'all don't even understand, but there's no excuse. Y'all know I'm the boss mom and I'm going to get it together all the time. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. So let's get back into the series, y'all. Part 4 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. So he pulls over, but there's nobody in the car, y'all. There's nobody in the car this time. And so I'm like, where were you at? What were you doing? So he's like, I'm about to come back and get you. I gotta go drop this stuff off. I don't want you in the car with me with this stuff in the car, so on and so forth. And I'm like, that's BS. We gonna follow you. He like, nah. He's steady trying to give me the runaround. But in my heart of hearts, I already know, like, dude, you lying and you was just with somebody or on your way to somebody. And that's why you kind of like giving me the fluff. But I'm like, okay, cool. So me and my friends, we go outside. So the night goes on. I get a call from him at maybe like 1:30, 2 o'clock. And now this is 1:32 a.m. So I'm on my way in the house because at this point, you done missed your beat, sir. And I done been outside. I done had me a funky good time. I'm ready to go to sleep. So he telling me like, yeah, I'm going to get up with you tomorrow. Now, mind you, the tomorrow is Sweetest Day. So imagine we were supposed to start this getaway on Friday. Friday has come and gone. He done got caught up in traffic. I done been outside. That getaway is not happening right now. So now we move on. We talk at 2, 3 in the morning. I tell him I'm going in the house. I ain't really too much trying to be bothered. He tell me how he gonna, get up with me the next day, da 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 da, so on and so forth. Now, mind you, this man paid for this little getaway. So your money has still been used, sir, irregardless of whether we were there or not. They charged this man's car because I booked it myself. So now I wake up the next day, I get up, we talking, everybody on the group chat, we trying to really understand what's going on. We trying to find a strategic way now to catch this man up because we all know he's lying. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he come calling, he telling me, yeah, he got to go to this birthday party for his niece, so on and so forth. And how after that, we can meet up. Either I could come to him, he could pick me up. But now I'm starting to just get the inkling, like, you really trying to avoid me. Like, you're not really trying to tell me everything that's going on. Because any other time you would have extended the invitation for me to come, kids party, adult party. Like I said, we have been kind of dating. I ain't going to say kind of dating. We were dating. So the man was dropping out money, flowers. We was pulling up to different events. Now, I wasn't big on meeting his family. So I didn't go to like family events with him. But like friend events, kicking it, all of that good stuff. Kid events, anything that was with his son, like a basketball game or, like t-ball and little stuff like that, I was going with him. And again, he's pitched to me that he's this single daddy. So it's crazy that now all of a sudden you don't have the freedom, so to speak, that you had before to bring me to these different events. And of course, I'm questioning. So now I'm kind of questioning him on like why I can't go to the niece party. And it's really because I already have in my heart that he playing with me. But now I want to see. See, I told y'all back then I was Inspector Gadget. Sherlock Holmes, baby. You say this what it is, you're going to have to prove that. You're going to have to make me a believer. And so that's where I was. So I started questioning him about why I couldn't come to the birthday party of his niece. And he was like, no, like tried to play it off and kind of like BS me and tell me that it had nothing to do with like us per se or me not being able to come. It was just like he was pressed for time and all this other stuff. Now we all know iPhones to get you anywhere. You could have sent the address. You know what I'm saying? But instead of him like doing that, he BS'd me. So, okay, cool. So the day go on. Mind you, y'all, it is Sweetest Day. And this not a niece that I never met. Mind y'all, he didn't introduce me to these kids. I've seen these kids. I've been around his family members, but I'm not like in no relationship with them. So where like I'm kicking it over there, but I come around with him. So the day go on. I don't get no call from him. So now I'm calling his phone again. No answer. Texting his phone again. No answer. So y'all know I'm in my feelings, right? Y'all know I'm in my feelings. So I'm like, okay, but it's Sweetest Day. So I end up texting my sister, my best friend, and maybe like 2 other friends, like, hey, what y'all doing? I want to come out because I'm not finna be just sitting in the house waiting on this man. So we go on. Y'all, the day is over. Saturday has come and gone. So he done got caught up Friday and BS'd his way out of that. Saturday, we don't even know if we caught up or not because I ain't heard from him. So now we get to Sunday. Sunday evening come, I get a call from him. So I'm like, what do you want? Because now it's like, you didn't send me off. You didn't play it in my face. Like, what do you want? So he's like, man, the birthday party went over, da-da-da-da-da. So it's me. I'm messy. Send me a picture. I know you took pictures. I know you took videos at this birthday party. Send me a picture. So, y'all, he was good. He had a picture. He had not one picture, but multiple pictures. But I'm going to tell y'all something. One thing I'm not is slow. So I'm looking at the pictures and I'm like, man, that look real family-ish. Like, they look like they're together. And I'm like, man, it's not sitting with me well. And I mean, y'all, it's him. It's a lady. it's the supposedly niece, it's the supposedly nephew, and his son. All in one picture. That give family photo to me, family portrait. But I digress. I said, okay. He was like, yeah, that's my sister, her kids. We had fun, da 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 da, so on and so forth. So now, mind you, the lady that I seen in this picture, he told me was his sister. Remember that. So we go forward. I'm just like, okay, but man, y'all, I'm single. I'm in my single era, but I'm dating this man. Like, we are single, but we are not together. I know that's some millennial shit, and I know that's like confusing, but my people who get it, get it. Like, no, we're not together. We don't have any type of title with one another, but don't play with me type shit. But he was definitely playing, y'all. So, Sunday go past. We didn't talk. So now it's Monday. Can I come get you for lunch? Sure, you can come get me for lunch. I'm in college. I'm at school. Mondays, my schedule was pretty clear. Yes, you can come get me from school. We can go to lunch. He comes to get me from lunch, y'all. And I see a tattoo on his head that I never seen before. Now, mind you, it just could have been me, or I just could have not been paying attention. Me personally, I definitely feel like I wasn't paying attention enough because I feel like I had saw it before, but I just didn't ask about it. So the name on there was Jasmine. He got this lady named Jasmine tattooed on his head, but he's bald head. So if you have a hat on, you can't see it. So majority of the time he wore hats. And then now that it's cold, of course he got on a hat. So like I said, I might not have been paying attention because he definitely was wearing like caps and snapbacks too. Buck 50s, like baby, he had on a hat all the time. But like I said, I feel like I slipped up and just did not pay attention enough to be like, okay, this is what it is. So when I see the doggone tattoo, I asked. I say, hey, who is that? And he was like, oh, that's my baby mama. I said, oh, okay. Y'all, y'all not together no more, right? So why do you still have her name? So he was like, nah, I've had her name since she got killed. Now, mind y'all, we never got into details up until now about what happened to his baby mama, why he was a single dad, none of this. We never got into it up until now. And so he's feeding me this, oh, she got into this really bad car accident. So now I'm really feeling bad for him, y'all. He's like, yeah, she got into this bad car accident, and now my son, it's just me and my son. He was like, and I really loved her. She, she was everything, just giving me all the tea. So we think. So I'm like, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I hate that you going through that, your son going through that. All kids, I feel like, need a mom. I am heartbroken for this little boy, y'all. Heartbroken. I just cannot imagine, like, what he going through, what's going on. And this man is really selling it. And I'm buying it, y'all. I'm buying it. And so now we're at a place where, like, he didn't smooth me over the past weekend. But like I said, I'm not too mad because we're not together. But nigga, you play with me. So now it's like, I ain't giving you that sweetest day gift. But we alright. We cool. I know y'all, like, this lady is crazy. She be going through some shit. These guys be acting a fool. And they do. And I do. But we gonna keep going, y'all. We finna keep going. What's the word, birds? You already here with the Boss Mom, part 5 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. So we get past the little sweetest day thing. I'm still, kind of not feeling it. But I'm still messing with him because, like I said, I'm a younger mom. And at this time, I feel like my needs or what I required from a man was majority financial or monetary. Like, we could date, we could hang out. Those expectations were there. But it was more so for me, like, I'm in college. So what are you going to do for my attention? That's kind of just where I was. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. You live and you learn as an adult now, as a woman now. No. But it just comes over time. And I guess because the woman that I am now, I'm very much independent. I don't stay at home with parents. I literally do everything for me and my kids with no hesitation, no problem. But anyway, so time goes on. We're still dating, still going on these random sporadic dates. He's still pulling up with flowers. I'm still able to drive cars when I want to. So now it's my friend's birthday and I want to go out. And so I tell him, hey, I want to go out. I want to get, one of the cars. And so it wasn't a problem, but you could tell he was a little hesitant. He was very hesitant on like where and when. Like he asked a whole bunch of questions that he never really asked. So I was like, man, I'm getting a little curious. So then like the phone calls in the evening would start to slow up. And when I say slow up, they didn't stop. Like we would still talk in the evening. We would still have conversation in the evening, but they definitely would slow up. They were nowhere near where they used to be. We used to talk all evening. So now I'm starting to feel like, okay, something is going on. But wait a minute. So so he invites me over again. And of course I come because now I'm like kind of curious. And at the time we all adults. Now we are like, intimate and we liking each other. Like at least so I think. And I'm not even going to say that he didn't like me. He just couldn't be honest with what he had going on. So he invites me over. I come over. I got my little spend the night bag or whatever. And now this is maybe like, I don't know, like 3 months after the sweetest day thing. And I go over and in the room, I see like a baby playpen, like a baby walker and some medicine on the, not counter, on the dresser. And so now I'm curious, like, what is this medicine? And it doesn't have his name on it, or at least the name that he's told me. Because remember, he didn't tell me his name was Greg. But I see a name on this thing, but the last name is Diggs. Now, mind you, he told me his name was Greg Diggs. And so now I'm trying to like put all of this together. So I'm like, either this your medicine or this one of them kids' medicine or this somebody else's medicine that belongs to you or got the same last name or related. Like I couldn't really figure it out, but it wasn't sitting right with me, especially with baby stuff. And so I'm like, okay. So I text my sister and I'm like, it's baby stuff in here. She was like, does he have a baby? I said, the little boy that I've been around, is not no baby. And she was like, right, the little boy that we've been seeing. Exactly. So we've been around now for 7-8 months and I ain't never seen no little baby. So it's kind of like throwing me off. But remember, y'all, he sent me a picture from the niece's party of this family portrait and it was very much a little baby in that picture. So I'm like, okay. So I'm starting to like try to piece stuff together, but it's still very sporadic. Like it's still, this puzzle is nowhere coming together, but I'm also liking him. So, when your mind is liking somebody and your mind is trying to like deter you from thinking the negative way, but my common sense kicking in like, he ain't right. But my in love or want to be in love part is like, So I'm really trying to understand like what's going on because it's not making sense. And I never seen this kid stuff here before. So remember I told y'all I wanted to go out with my friends. So even though I spent the night over his house that weekend, I still went out with my friend that Saturday. So that was Friday night. We stayed in the house, we chilled, sipped wine, watched movies, watched TV shows. Me and him. The son wasn't there. But then Saturday came and I'm telling him, and so he asked me like, what time you gonna be done? What time you gonna be like, and it was very like not routine, like very not demure, okay? He was asking me too many questions. And at this point, it's like, I'm not your girl, but I do be driving your cars and you do be taking care of me. So I get it, but I'm not your girl. And so when he asking me this, I'm like, what you got plans? You trying to get up with somebody? I'm trying to understand, like, what is the beef? Like, you're going outside, I'm going outside because, like I told y'all, life was great when we first started messing around. It was no getting on each other's nerves. Now he's starting to literally annoy me because I feel like you're trying to be sneaky, but you're trying to be ahead of me, but you're not being ahead of me. You only get on my nerve. And so he ends up leaving me the car and he ends up leaving. He goes out first. So I'm now in this apartment by myself. And so now I'm nosy. I'm looking around. I'm looking at everything. Y'all, I done found women's perfume in here. I done found kids' toys up in here. Clothes, underwear, shoes. Now, mind you, I have a drawer at this man's house. So I'm looking at my drawer, my stuff is there, but I also see other female stuff like around the house. And so I'm really trying to understand like what's going on. So I go look by the back door and I see two pair of female shoes. So now I'm like, okay, I know I'm not the only one. And you could have just kept it a buck with me because I honestly am not that deep into it. But the longer you keep messing with a person thinking you're the only one, you then do fall deep into it. And so I was at the place of like, okay, let me not fall. So I called my friend. I'm like, yeah, girl, he left me the Jeep. At the time, he had like a newer Jeep. He left me the Jeep, so I'm on my way. But then I realized that he didn't leave me no money. And me, I want that allowance every time. I don't care. I don't care if I do got money in my pocket. I don't care if I got a lot of money in my pocket. I want yours. So I called him up and I said, hey, you know, I got to run by my grandma's house because I left one of my little things that I need to put in my purse. I said, but you didn't leave me no money to go outside. He was like, oh, damn, I forgot. He was like, I'm actually by your grandma's house now. I'm closer to Madison. He was like, you still at the apartment? I'm like, actually, I'm walking out now. He was like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the money up, put it in the cigarette box, and put it in the bush. And that's exactly what he did. Wrapped up a wad of money, put it in a bush. I went to go pick it up when I went to go get what I needed from my grandma's house. And baby, I was back outside with my friends, with his money, and his. So now I'm ready to come in the house. I'm a little tipsy. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nice. And I'm calling. No answer, y'all. No answer. I'm calling. It's like 2 a.m. Calling. No answer. Calling. No answer. But I have the house keys. I have the house keys. The man is crazy. I have the house keys, y'all. So I'm calling. So I'm like, man, I don't want to go to this man's apartment, you know, by myself. But at the same time, like, you know, I didn't left for the weekend. Like, I could have went to my grandma's house, but I also didn't want to, like, park that car out there. It was just so many factors kind of against it. And I feel like he set me up to know, like, she gonna go to my house because she got the car keys. She got the keys. You know what I'm saying? Like, he put me in the position to be able to just be like, yeah, I'm going to her house. I'm going to his house. So it gets to be like 3 a.m. I get to the house. Nobody's there. It's just me, the TVs, the keys, literally, the shoes, and the shit I found. So I'm steady calling him. So he calls me at like 4 a.m. Like, hey, I'm at the hospital with my mom, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know I snapped. I'm like, you at the hospital with your mom. You couldn't say that a long time ago. When the fuck did you get in the hospital with your mom? Like when? Like I'm trying to figure it out, but nothing is making sense. So I'm spazzed. I'm going off. And so he's like, I'll be there in a minute. He was like, do you mind cooking? So me, weak in the knees. I don't mind cooking. Cooking is one of them things. That's my love language. I love to cook. And so I'm like, dude, he pissing me off though. But I'm like, okay, you know, I'm going to cook. So I'm like, what is it that you want me to cook? He ended up saying, like, I want to say, like, chicken and shrimp Alfredo. Like, he loved seafood. I will say that he was a shrimp eater, crab legs, lobster, top tier baby. He was at all the seafood places. And so I ended up going to the store, getting back. He still wasn't there, y'all. It was like 9 o'clock. Are y'all blown away yet? Are y'all wigs off yet? Glasses? Are you in the phone like this? Because, baby, it's about to get real. This is where it gets really, really crazy. And y'all finna be like, What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. And we are back with part 6 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. So now I'm livid. I'm like, you didn't fair me this about your mama. I'm kind of feeling bad for cussing you out, but I'm really not feeling bad for cussing you out. And then you still not here? Oh, no, baby. So I ended up cooking. Imagine, I don't got no kids with me. It's Sunday. My kid's not coming home till Monday, so I'm still just around this man's house lounging, y'all. Lounging. So he finally walks in at maybe like 1 in the afternoon. Baby, all I knew was mink. When I say mink, it was over with. I was so mad. And when I tell y'all he didn't fight back, none of that. He just was apologetic. Babe, I'm sorry. I should have communicated better. I'm not used to being in a relationship. You know, just the whole 9 yards. And again, y'all, I'm young. I got 2 kids. I'm a single mom. I'm in college. He's literally funding my life. and I get to go and come as I please. So in my head, this is the life. I've been in a decent place now. You know, like I'm in a decent place, and I've gotten to a place where I'm comfortable with that life. So now it's like, oh, he getting on my nerve, but at the same time, like, am I gonna let that go because of that? No, y'all, I was not letting it go. I'm telling y'all the truth, I wasn't. So we ended up eating, laid around the house that day, and then he ended up taking me shopping. So I, like, kind of pitched a fit, I guess, enough to where he was like, I need to shut her up and make her feel like, you know, I'm gonna do better. And one way to my heart, baby, I don't care what nobody say, is a mall. A mall. So I said, I want to go to Pink. I told y'all I was a Pink girly. I want to go to Bath and Body Works. I want to go to Coach. And I think we went to Neiman Marcus. So we went to Overbrook Mall, y'all. I was in Pink having the time of my life, baby. I was picking up everything. Left there, went to Bath and Body Works. That man spent a good $1,500 that day. I had a new Coach purse. And at the time, Coach was popping. So, and there's nothing wrong with a Coach purse now, baby, because I will rock one in a minute. Got about 2, 3, 4, something like that. But went to Coach, then went to Neiman Marcus, and that's when he bought me my first pair of designer shoes. A lot of people didn't know, like, even though, like, my parents were loaded and my grandparents were loaded, like, I lived great. But my parents were smart about their money. They didn't put us in designer all the time because they wanted us to know both sides of the fence, which I can appreciate. So he bought me my first pair of, like, designer shoes, some Marc Jacobs. And y'all, baby, it was on then. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So now I'm back happy. He out the doghouse, baby. I didn't went on my shopping spree. You can't tell me nothing. My man, right? So we end up going out to eat, and I end up kind of expressing that to him, like, you know, I want us to be more serious. And I think I was falling more anyway, but I also felt a need for some security with him because I was very insecure with where I was just in general as a woman, being with an older man. This was like one of the first older men I had really dealt with, and then like dealt with on this serious note where we were intimate. Like, I was a real live adult in a relationship, and this was like a real live dating relationship, situationship thing. So, you know, I did. I told him, I'm like, you know, I want us to actually be together, like have a title. And so he was all for it. Little did I know that that title extended to somebody else. So we'll say about a month or two go on. I told y'all we'd be going on these little getaways. So he was like, hey, let's go on a getaway. So we go on a little staycation. We go right, it's a little bit out of like Chicago, but not out of Illinois, if that makes sense. So this particular weekend, I'm like, okay, yeah, we can go. So we go to this little like resort. It's really nice. And so I end up leaving my car with my friends. And so they outside having a time. So me and him are there. We ended up, Hooters was like one of my favorite places to go food from. And so there was a Hooters not too far. I had saw it when we kind of drove in. And so he was like, you hungry? You know, like what you want to eat? And so I'm like, yeah, I want some Hooters. So we go to Hooters, we get our food to go, we go back to the room, and it's cold, y'all. It's cold at the time, so I'm really trying to like cuddle up, snuggle up. I'm not an outside person when it's cold. Like, I'm not your girl. I love to dress when it's cold, but I want to be cute for just like maybe that day, and then that's it. Like, I'm going in the house. I'm cool. And so that's exactly what happened. We got the food, went back to the room. Me and him played cards because we were both gamblers. So we played us a little space, little two-hand space, played some deuces. Of course, I took all his dollars. And then he gets a call. He gets a call. And y'all, this is where I knew I want the only female. Number one, I heard the female on the phone. And he tried so hard to turn the phone down really quick and walk away and act like he was going to the bathroom, but I'm not stupid. So he tells me, like, babe, I got to make a run. I'll be back. So I'm like, where you got to go? Why you can't take me? He was like, nah, babe, it's too cold. I know you don't like the cold. Like, he's trying to feed me my lines on me as to why he can't take me. So I played it cool. I said, okay, cool. So I FaceTimed my friends and I said, he just went to go get up with somebody. I don't know who it is, but evidently he had to go get up with them because he left, like, immediate. They was like, he left you in the hotel? I'm like, yeah, he left me in the room. I'm like, he didn't leave me, like, I'm stuck here, but he left me to go do what he's doing. The whole time, y'all, he communicating with me while he gone. He leave, he texting. He calls. Hey, babe, I'm on my way. Cool. He comes back in a decent amount of time, y'all. No bullshit. Decent amount of time. But he smelled like a straight female. Like a woman just sprayed him with body mist or like hugged him with a whole bunch of body mist or perfume on. Like he smells like a female. So I'm like, where you go? And so, of course, he played it off. Yeah, my sister, she want to play too much. You know, I had to run up there for my mama. That was my sister who called. Mind you, this supposed to be the same sister who needs party we was at. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Night go on. We have us a good night. Next day, we get up. We go do like a little activity in the little resort thing or whatever. Cool. We have a ball. He get a call again, y'all. He try to do the same thing. But this time, he can't like hide his face of the lady snapping in the phone. And so now I'm like, my time to shine. I'm trying to see what's going on. So he ends up saying, you know, hey, I got to take this call. Let me go on about my way. Okay, cool. He step off, take the call, come back. But y'all, like I said, I heard this lady going off in the phone. So now I'm like, But I ain't said shit. So we get upstairs. Now I'm acting a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I feel a little way. I'm in my feelings a little bit. I'm like, damn, you know what's going on. So he asked me, like, what's wrong? Why you acting like that? What I do? Why you got an attitude? You know, all these things. And I'm like, you know why I have an attitude. I know it was a female on the phone. He was like, I'm telling you, that's my sister. That's my sister. So he's still trying to feed me this sister thing. And so I tell her, I say, call him back. If that's your sister, call her back. He calls the number back. They don't answer. So I'm not gonna lie. I assumed the girl was mad and just didn't want to talk to him no more. I still never believed it was the sister. Sunday come, we check out. He drops me back at home. I get my car from my friends. But I got a bright idea. Because I know I'm going to get some answers from somewhere. I know y'all. I had a long weekend. I've been editing. I've been wrapping gifts. I've been outside. I've been doing all types of stuff. And I'm sorry. I promise y'all I'm sorry. But we back with it, y'all. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. And we are back with part 7 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. So I go ahead and I say, hey, let me ask my sister for his brother number. So I asked my sister for the brother number. My sister gave me the brother number. I text the brother like, hey, this Maya. I want to come talk to you. Do you got some free time? You know, what's up? I want to do something special for your brother. You know, I want to just kind of learn him a little bit more. But I was BSing the brother because I knew if I would have told him, like, I had suspicions of his brother kind of like cheating on me or doing other things or having another life going on or whatever the case may be, that he might not have been so receptive to me, you know, coming to meet him. So he said, yeah, no. And remember, I told y'all my sister felt like he kind of had a crush on me too. And I kind of did too. So I kind of used that to my advantage. So I went to go meet up with him and I brought a bottle. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's talk this out. And when I say y'all real cool, real laid back, like real cool, real laid back, hella personality, just hella cool. So we get drunk. And I told you I was a dark drink at the time, so I got some Hennessy because he liked Hennessy. So I go to his job and pick him up. He getting off work. I say, come on, let's take a ride. Let's talk. I need to get to learn your brother a little bit more. So after I get kind of like further and I see he a little tipsy, I stop. I pull over and I just keep it a buck with him. I say, hey, I heard your brother talking to a female on the phone. What's going on? What am I missing? What is really going on? Baby, that man told me, you really want to know the truth? I said, yes, I really want to know the truth. And he says, you're not the only one, sis. He does have somebody else, his baby mama. Her name is Jasmine. They got 3 kids together. They live together at one of his apartments. And the other apartment that you be at, she'll come there too. Mind you, this is this man's brother who then told all the business. All it takes is a little bit of Hennessy, baby. He was singing like a canary, okay? And I said, oh, yeah. So me, I told y'all, Sherlock Holmes, baby. I'm going to get answers. I need to know. I need to understand. I want to know. So I said, hey, I'm going to play this cool because now I want to know. I want to see how deep this is and how far this really is because at this point, y'all, I'm invested. This man is taking care of me. He's literally funding the life that I live. And I told y'all, my mindset was not in the place where you deserve more than that. Why do you even care? Exit stage left. This is a red flag. It totally went over my head. I was not thinking about that. I'm like, Dad, he's taking her and me. That's where my man was at. Now, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. At this point, I'm a little distraught. Like, even though he told me and I played it cool, I'm a little distraught. And so I asked the question that now we all want to know. The tattoo that's on his head, is that the same Jasmine? Because he's telling me that this lady Jasmine is deceased. And that tattoo is in representation of the deceased lady. You're telling me that this lady with the same name is alive. So what's really going on? He was like, nah, that's for Jasmine. He was like, him and Jasmine been together for years. She's not going to leave him alone. That's why he do what he do. He was like, but he care about you. He do. And I don't think he want to leave Jasmine alone or you alone. So he'll rather just go ahead and take care of both of y'all. It's like, my brother done did a lot of stuff. He done messed with a lot of women, but I don't know what it is about you that he's continuing to keep this up because he really wants you around or what it is. Now, at this point, I'm kind of like, he want me around, but he lying, not giving. But at the same time, you know, I'm young and not, you know, totally thinking it through. So now I want to see who this Jasmine girl is. Now I want to be messy. I said, where's she from? He like, no, she not from the city. She from the suburbs. In the particular suburbs that she's from, I'm not going to name it. However, I did send my cousin some information that I did find out. So he goes on and he leads to me telling me that, you know, him and Jasmine are going to always kind of be together and be close because of the relationship of Jasmine's brother and him. So apparently Jasmine's brother passed and they were super, super close. And apparently the way he passed, there was some things that just wasn't adding up. And I'm guessing that some dots wasn't, you know, dotting, T's weren't crossing, you know, things like that. So they've always kind of had a close relationship outside of the brother as well. So I'm like, okay. So I send all this information in the group chat to my cousin, who's from that actual suburb. Of course, she know exactly who this person is. She like, look, Jasmine. Oh, I know her. They stay on such and such, such and such. Now, I told y'all, at the time, I was not thinking. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was not thinking. I called my friends who I knew was gonna geek me right up and tell me, come on, girl, let's do it. And that's exactly what we did. We went over there to the address that my friend gave me we went to the address that my cousin gave me because my cousin and her brother were friends. But mind you, he passed. So she's like, I've been knowing them for years. I grew up with them, like they've been staying in the same house. So we drive over there. What car do I see out there, y'all? The Jeep, the Challenger, and the Cadillac. All 3 cars that I drive on the regular of this man's. So I pull up, I'm looking at the cars. I'm like, okay, me? I didn't come ill prepared. I came very much prepared because I knew that what I saw, that was what it was going to be. Like, I knew that I was going to catch something. I was determined to catch something. So I went ahead, I got up, at the car. I'm looking, and I had to make sure the plates was right because although I knew the cars, I wanted to make sure the plates was right. And one thing about me, I'm gonna take a picture of a plate every time. So I took pictures of the plates before when I was driving the cars. So I already knew where to go to look, to cross-reference, to make sure I was going key, bus, and everything else I was going to do to the right car. So once I saw it, I know the Cadillac and that Challenger mean the most to him. So those was the two I went for. That Jeep really don't mean nothing to him. Like, he got 2-3 Jeeps. It does not mean anything to him. So I went for the Cadillac first. Bust all the tires, bust all the windows, set the alarm off, and keyed it. Then I turned around and got up with the Challenger. Same exact thing. Left no crumbs. Who come running out the house? Both of them. Both of them. Now, either she delusional or she didn't want no smoke that night, or she was doing what I was doing, trying to feel everything out to make sure she knew what she knew. But either way, me and that lady did not have no encounter that night. Whatever he said to her to ensure that she didn't come close enough to actually see who was doing whatever to these cars, she went back in the house. He came out trying to pacify me. What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this to the cars? Da 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 da. Just going off. And I'm like, so who's that? I thought Jasmine was deceased. You telling me that this lady is alive? That's not Jasmine. So who is it? Y'all, he wasn't quick enough. He wasn't quick enough. I was throwing them questions. Who is it? Where she come from? How old is she? You got kids with her? You don't got kids with her? She got kids? How long she been over here? Baby, I was laying him out, and he could not answer quick enough. He could not. But where he messed up is, me and her both are a lot smarter than what he thought. He has 2 phones, and he failed to bring the other phone down. I was blowing up both phones before I started doing anything to these cars. But because you're laid up with Jasmine, who's supposedly deceased, but not deceased, you didn't answer. But you left the other phone upstairs, and she saw that, and she knew the code. So she went through the messages and saw exactly what she needed to see to figure out who I was. And that allowed me to figure out who she was. Woo! Y'all, it's so crazy, like, re-saying this story, like, retelling it. It's even crazy, like, when my sister called me, like, girl, you finna get to part 8 and remember when? And then we kind of going over it, and I'm just like, this was crazy. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, and we are back with part 8 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. So now I know that there's definitely someone else. As much as he want to lie, as much as he was trying to make it seem like it's not his child's mother and just refused to tell me about another woman, period. I now know, and I've seen her. But more importantly, she saw me too. But like I said, she didn't want no smoke that night. I think she really wanted to get her ducks in a row to see how she was going to deal with this. And I know y'all like, how you know that she knew who you was or whatever. But I knew because I got a text from the other phone while he was outside saying, who is this? Excuse me, ma'am. What? So I didn't say anything to him when I saw the text message because, of course, he was going to deny it. We already know he's a liar and a manipulator at this point. So he wasn't going to tell me who she was, and he damn sure wasn't going to tell her voluntarily who I was, or at least not yet. So time has gone on. We both washed our hands, squashed it. I think we both was acting like nothing was going on. So weeks go on, we continuing these dates, nothing has slowed down. However, now it's starting to be like he's very, very questioning me, if that's even a word. Like, he want to know everything now. Like, who you with, where you going, what time you'll be back. As if you didn't want to run into me while you out doing what you doing. Because see, the West Side is very small. Hence how I could figure out where this car was. And again, not once did he think, like, how did she know where these cars was at? He never asked. He never asked how I knew where to pull up. My cousin gave me the address. Didn't follow him, didn't know nothing about even on that side. And come to find out, they stayed actually in Maywood, but they were from Bellwood. So the suburb that I initially thought I was going to, it wasn't even the one I was going to. So it was kind of crazy how that all played out. So like I say, we both are now like planning cool, still getting flowers, still getting these dates. So now we supposed to go out again. And he sends me off again. But this time when he sends me off, it didn't go the same way. I didn't call the phone after, over and over and over again. I didn't text the phone over and over again or anything. I went ahead and was starting to be messy because now you gonna come see about me. You want to play? I can play too. Now the game is on 2 players. So I text my cousin and said, what's her last name? She tells me the girl's last name. I'll type it in. Can't find her. Just can't find her. So now I'm really upset. I cannot find this girl on Facebook. So then my cousin was like, I don't think she has a Facebook, or if she does, it's not her real name. So we scrolling. I finally find a page with her picture on it, but it's old. It's super old, y'all. Like the pictures of the kids was so old. But here's the kicker. Even though it was an old page, I got a whole lot of answers that I needed. I went through the pictures and I happened to see the little girl who was supposedly the niece. I see a little boy who was supposedly the nephew. But the names of the children are under the picture. I'm not going to disclose these babies' names. But remember the name that I saw on that medicine bottle when I was over there, y'all? And I looked at the date, the DOB, the date of birth. It was clearly a child's medication. So based off that date of birth and based off this little arm baby, I done now made the connection. You don't got 1 kid with this lady. You don't even have 2 kids with this lady. You have 3 kids with this lady. 3. You didn't killed her off. Not only did you kill her off, but your kids is your niece and nephew, and you only claiming 1 child, and you got the 1 child that you claiming lying? No, bro, you finna come see about me. Like, you're about to come see about me. So y'all know I had to drop it in the group chat. 1 thing about it and 2 things for sure. A girl gonna drop that info in that group chat. You want to find something out for real, fellas? I'm trying to give y'all a hint. Don't worry about what your girl doing in the messages with the men. The group chat is where it's gonna tell it all. I'm sorry, ladies. I just said that. Because y'all know I'm right. So I dropped it in the group chat. Automatically, group FaceTime call. Now we all got to talk about this. So now we all trying to conjure up like how I'm finna catch him up, how we finna find this lady. So we are on a hunt to find another page because in my gut, in my heart of hearts, in this day and age, it's no way that she just don't got no Facebook page. Like no social media at all. The lady, I couldn't find her on Instagram. I couldn't find her on Snapchat. I couldn't find like nothing, y'all, but this one old Facebook page. So I happened to go through her friends, and she had some mutual friends of mine, like people that I knew personally. So I know this sounds crazy, y'all, but at this point now I have to get answers because not only did you kill this lady off, you denying these kids. And yes, I want to catch you up, and no, I don't even want to look at you the same. But at the same time, y'all, again, I'm young. It's no justification. I'm young. I'm in this mindset that he's taking care of me. That's not my problem. But in another sense, I'm like, I know he's not doing this to this girl. She doesn't even look like she's older. Mind y'all, he's older. I told y'all, he's in his 40s. He's older. She looked my age, y'all. No exaggeration. She looked my age. So I happened to get this lovely message, and 1 thing about it and 2 things for sure. When I reach out and I'm dedicated and I'm looking, I'm going to find it. So I have one friend who she Inspector Gadget 2.0, baby. If I said anything to her, find this person. Who is this? Can you help? She's going to find it. So I had her on the lookout. But on top of that, I turned around and inboxed somebody that I knew that went to high school with all of them. That person inboxed me right back like, Dad, what you want with this person? Like, what's going on? So I kind of explained the situation like, man, I think we kind of messing with the same guy. I'm not on no messy stuff. I just kind of want to know what's going on because this feels like it's going to turn into some messy stuff and it's going to come crumbling down and somebody going to get hurt at the end of this because it's now too many emotions, too many people involved, and hell, kids involved, not one, but three. So the person ended up, telling me like, hey, she does have another page. I think this page is very, very old. This is the page that I see her post off of. She gave it to me. She was like, but I just don't want to be in it. Please don't, say nothing. And I didn't. I never disclosed how I even found her newer page. So I did. I was like, oh, y'all, it was crazy. Like, thinking about it again, I was like, I'm sitting here like, I really was dealing with this man. Oh, well. What's the word, Brez? You already here with the boss mom, and we are back with part 9 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. So I did DM her, y'all. And mind y'all, he's still pitching to me that his name is Greg, right? Now, I didn't ask the brother about the name because I just didn't feel like you would be lying to me about your name. But boy, was I wrong. So when I inboxed her and I'm explaining who I'm talking about, she's like, G-Man is my guy's brother. And I'm like, huh? Because now it's not making sense. What do you mean that's your guy's brother? So now I have to send pictures. Because I'm like, you talking about him? And I did. I sent videos and pictures to her like, his name is G-Man. She said, no, love. That is not his name. And that is my baby daddy. So now I'm like, oh my goodness. So she tells me, I'm going to call you. She's like, send me a number. I'm going to call you. And she do. So she calls me. And she's like, I don't really know what's going on. I knew he was dealing with somebody. I knew he was liking on whoever he was dealing with because he was totally switching up his routine. He was always going. He's always like literally out of town. And I know he's not going out of town for work that much. She's not lying because we were very much out of town. I told y'all we would go on these little staycations. We would go on these little like vacations, little getaways. Like, so she's not lying. So I'm like, okay, so your name is Jasmine. Y'all have 3 kids together. And this your man? And she basically was like, yeah, it's our man though. She never came at me bogus. Like she never did, y'all. She was very, very sweet. Super, super smart. Super just kind of, I ain't going to say innocent because she played her role too. But I also think she played her role because she's in a place now where she knew she was stuck with him. She knew that she wasn't leaving because of the lifestyle that he's created for her. So I'm like, wow, this is really starting to get crazy. But this is where I was like, oh my goodness. So she gets a call on the other line and it's him. And she says, hold on, this him. Don't hang up. So she texts me and say, put your phone on mute. She put me on 3-way with him. They're talking. She trying to play it off normally. And she's like, hey, we need to talk. He was like, Jazz, I don't want to do this with you, blah, 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 blah. He's already very defensive. So who do I get a text from in the midst of them on the phone, me on the phone secretly? Him. Hey, baby, what you doing? I'm about to be on my way to come pick you up. How that's working? Mind you, he's on the phone telling her he finna drop the kids off to her. You finna drop the kids off to her and get up with me. So I screenshot and I sent it to her. She said, get up with him. She said, don't change what you're doing because you know about me now. And I'm like, what? So they still on the phone. They in a call. They pull up, exchange the kids. Whole time they're exchanging kids, I'm on the phone. But I won't say nothing. Now, he knew something was wrong because when he got the kids up out of the car, he kept saying, Jazz, who you on the phone with? And she like, my friend. But she wasn't no good liar. Like, she wasn't able to play it off because it was probably wearing on her face. Like, I'm literally talking to my man's side girl. And I can honestly understand emotions being high, face kind of turned up, looking crazy. Because that's a lot. You confused. And mind you, their baby was not no grown baby. Their newest child was like 9 months. No exaggeration. Like 9 months. So she goes on and she leaves. She's in school. So she drops them off to class. To him so she could go to class. So she's talking to me the whole time she already class. She giving me all the tea, y'all. She like, no, I've been with him since I was 17 years old. And I've never been with nobody else for real. Like, I've had other relationships in high school and even like when we've broken up, but I've never given myself completely to no other man. And for whatever reason, I can't. He provides for me. He pays for my schooling. And she does work. Like, he provides for her, but not enough for her to substantially live on her own with 3 kids. Because we all know, like, in reality, if they was to separate, she was the one that was going to have those kids. So she was very forthcoming, and she was like, honestly, I know he's not going to leave you alone. He likes you, and I damn near think he loves you. Y'all talk on a regular. I know that. She was like, I see your number all the time on his phone. I see him on both phones. I've seen pictures and videos of y'all. Like, she's always known about somebody, and she never, like, made the connection of who it was because she had never, like, seen me in passing or anything. But like I said, small world. So now I'm like baffled. I'm baffled. So she's asking me about myself, like, what do you have going on? I'm telling her, like, I'm in school. I sell mixed drinks on the side. I just finished my bartending class. I really want to open me up a storefront, like a little lounge. And at this time, this is what my goals were. I did want to open up a little lounge, like bar and bistro type of thing. And it still may be a goal at some point. If I get rich, hell, I may have a whole nother business. So ain't no telling. But I'm explaining it to her, and she was very, like, down to earth. She was really cool. Like I said, it was no beef. She was like, you are really on your stuff. You seem really, really smart. She was like, and you're gorgeous. So that's when I knew, like, he had trained her enough to be, like, okay with what he did or what he does. She was very much okay with it. So she then ended up telling me, like, at the end of the day, he's not going to stop messing with you. I'm not going to stop messing with him and dealing with him. That's my kid's daddy. And evidently, you enjoy being with him. So we could just all be in one relationship. Who? You lost me with the we all. No, ma'am. My girl said, can't beat him, join him. Like, what? So I'm not going to lie, y'all. I was flabbergasted. When I say in awe, I was like, did this lady just... And I was just like, you know what? And so I asked her flat out. I said, why do you deal with that? Like, for me, I could walk away. I don't have no kids with this man. I could walk away at any time. Like, yes, the money's great. Yes, the lifestyle is great. But ultimately, I could walk away. Why do you deal with that? If he's been doing this, they have 3 kids together. Mind y'all, the oldest kid is the little boy that I was always seeing. That he was telling me these sob stories about how he's just raising this little boy by himself. So I'm telling her, like, he told me you were dead. Y'all, I kid you not, that lady was laughing. She was like, girl, that ain't the first time. I'm like, huh? She was like, girl, yeah, he tell females different stuff. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, why do you deal with that? And so I flat out, like I said, asked, like, what is it? Why do you deal with that? Like, I understand the money, but, like, is there an exit plan at this point? Because I just feel like now, what's going on? I'm like, what? And she was like, honestly, my parents don't really help me, with my kids. And I started dealing with him at such a young age. He showed me a whole lot. He's taught me a whole lot about just the street life, the game, just getting my life together and being on point, being very independent when it comes to, like, monetary value, at least in a sense, financially, I should say. But also at the same time, he's a manipulator, and he was an older manipulator, and he knew that he could play in her head and play in her face. Hell, even me, so he was able to kind of maneuver around that. So we all know months turn into years, years turn into more years, years turn into decades, decades turn into centuries, and boom, now you look up, you got 3 kids with this man, you've been with him for damn near, 12 years now, and what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Now, at the time, we were probably 23, 22, younger, way younger. So she had been with him already since she was 16. So we think 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. She already 6 years in with this man who literally takes care of her. And she don't have no out. So her answer was to me that she would just be my girlfriend too, because she knew he wasn't going to leave me alone. While I was flattered, I was very much irritated. Like, what the hell is going on? But let's add insult to injury. After I find out that this lady is very much alive, kicking and well, this man don't have 1 kid with her, but 3. I ain't got no period. When I tell y'all, I was like, what the fuck? Part 10 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's keep going. So what's crazy is the day I'm finding out, everything about her, me and her are talking, I don't get my period. My period is late. It's supposed to have been here maybe 1 or 2 days prior. So now that's my real determination, on top of just seeing what all lies this man has fed me and her at this point. But that was really my determination in seeing what the hell was going on, because dude, if I'm pregnant by you, this is some crazy stuff, and I'm not bringing no baby into this madness. I'm just not. At the time, I was head on I'm not getting no abortion, I'm not getting no abortion, I'm not getting no abortion. But I promise y'all, that would have been the exception. Because what? No. So again, she goes on to class. So she tells me, I'm going to call you back when I get out of class. If you're with him, just text me. So the whole time, they've exchanged these kids. Whole time, the kids is going with his mom. She's going to class, and he's on his way to pick me up. So he finally gets to me, and I think he notices that I'm a little off. So he what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? So I finally kind of break it down to him, I don't have my period. So he was like, well, what you want to do? And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know what to do. He well, I'm going to make sure you straight. I'm going to make sure the boy's straight. I'm going to make sure your baby's straight. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know that I want this life. I don't know that I want to have kids with you, to know that you're a liar. And so he immediately what are you talking about? So I tell him, I said, I thought you told me that your child's mom was dead. He she is. What are you talking about? I said, you're a liar, and you've been lying to me, and I'm tired of you lying to me. So he was like, I ain't been lying to you. He immediately gets defensive, immediately, start going off. And I said, honestly, you can take me out, because you're a liar. So I broke everything down to him. I said, I know your name is not Greg. I know that's your brother's name. And I know you've been lying to me, feeding me that. So that I'm thinking I'm with this whole other person. So if it ever come out, it's she delusional. She don't know what she's talking about. And very much so. I didn't know what I was talking about, but I do now. And I'm I know that your baby mama is still alive. I said, Jasmine is very much alive. So now he's how do you know what you think you know? But he ain't never say that I was telling the truth. He just want to know how I know. And I said, I'm not telling you how I know. Just know that I know, and I know that you're lying, and it's not cool. I'm especially these kids. Them kids innocent. Who lies about having more kids? What? It was them not my kids. Them not my kids. Only have 1 kid. Da 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 da. You've met him. Just going on and on and on. So, yeah, I'm over it. So she texts me are you still with him? And so I texted back, and I'm yeah. And I basically told him that I know everything. And she was LOL, oh shit. Okay, when you come home, it's going to be fun. So I'm okay, whatever. So he finally takes me to go get something to eat. and he take me home. So I tell him, like, tomorrow, if I don't get my period, we're going to get a pregnancy test. He like, okay. So I go home, me and her texting pretty much that evening. And she just really, I think, trying to feel me out. Like, in total, she's not mad about it or anything. She's just really trying to figure it out. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So the whole week go by. I didn't even call him the next day for the pregnancy test. I didn't even want to be bothered with him. And to be honest, I was annoyed with her. Not so much annoyed with her because, if anything that she per se did to me, just why do you want this? Why are you living like this? Like, and then for me, it's the game for me as far as him and what he doing because, yeah, I redating, but did I already know some stuff wasn't okay? And like I said, I was still living my life. I was much, much younger. So, okay, boy. Like, it was, like, yeah, you got that going on, but it didn't affect me like that until this pregnancy thing came up. So we get to like Friday. We go on, and he kind of in his feelings. He like, you haven't really been texting me back. You haven't really been calling me back. I haven't seen you since Monday. And I'm just like, I just want you to be honest with me, and you haven't. So at that point, like, me expecting you to be honest is kind of neither here nor there. And at this point, I just don't want to be bothered. So he was like, well, what about the pregnancy test? So then I hear her in the background of the phone call. And so she texts me and was like, we finna come get you. And so I'm like, wait, what? And so I tell him, like, where are you at? Where you coming from? He was like, I'm not too far from you. I'm about to come get you. I said, but who are you with? He was like, I'm with Jasmine. I said, so you finally gonna tell the truth? He was like, I guess I don't have no choice now because she told already. So I'm like, okay, he's at least being honest. So they come get me, y'all. She was in the front seat. She got in the back seat. I got in the front seat with him. She's sitting behind him because I wouldn't let her sit behind me. Yeah, we cool and we ain't got no beef, but I don't know you like that. So no, you need to sit where I can see you. So she sits behind him and we're all in the car. The man is playing love songs and some more stuff. He stops at Walgreens to not only get the pregnancy test, the man come out with a dozen roses for the both of us. I'm like, this man is really crazy. So he gets back in the car and he like, when you take the test, let me know. He like, y'all hungry, what y'all want to eat? So now in his head, I feel like he thinks he didn't won. He didn't got it. He like, well, hell, they both right here now. They both. So I turns around and I said, so this the dead baby mama, just for clarity, because I have to know now. She started laughing. She was like, well, you clearly see I'm not dead. He goes on to say, yeah, I was way wrong for that. You was wrong for that. Baby, me, I couldn't be her. I couldn't be her. So we go get something to eat. I'm texting and sharing my location with my sister because I'm like, this man is crazy. Like, I never even seen this in my life. And she played her role. Y'all, she stayed in the backseat with no complaint. Didn't say nothing. Nothing. When he brought the roses to the car, she, thank you, babe. Nothing. I'm just like emotionless. Like, I was in awe. I could not believe I'm sitting in this car with this lady. And she's like, she's okay. So he takes me back home. I take the pregnancy test. It's negative. So I'm feeling good, but I also still don't have a period. And the dad part is not sitting well with me. So after I done got home, I done went to sleep because it was pretty late. The next morning, Saturday, he texts me like, hey, can we go to breakfast? Just me and you. So I'm like, yeah, we can go to breakfast. So he comes to get me. We go to breakfast. He like, I know I lied. I know I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't tell you about everything. I said, but that's not no little lie. You came as if this was like a I'm sorry lie. This is not no I'm sorry lie. You killed this woman off for no reason. Like, you killed her off for no reason. And my thing is, you didn't even give me a choice to allow me to decide if I wanted to deal with you. You just said, hey, go ahead. I'm going to just make you deal with me. And that wasn't cool. So he was, again, very apologetic, very, very sorry. And she comes calling his phone. Like, hey, I need you to bring me some garden because, I'm ready to, do my thing. The kid's gone. And so I can't say nothing because, I do the garden stuff too. We have a great time. Me, Zai, we go together real bad. And so he was like, you want to go with me to drop this off? And I'm like, at this point, she know who I am. Like, there's no point in me even sneaking or trying to even have a little bit of respect because, hell, she don't even have no respect. Like, I was just totally confused in what I wanted to do. And at that point, that's when I knew, like, it was time for me to separate myself from them because that it had become too overwhelming and too much for me to even, like, intake and deal with. Part 11 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. So come on, let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going. So we pull up to now the other apartment. Mind y'all, this is the first time I've ever seen this other apartment. Mind y'all, I was only at the other one. So he pulls up to the other apartment that his brother has definitely told me about. I just didn't know where it was, how to go look or nothing. So when I was able to pull up on them in the little western suburb because of my cousin, come to find out, that was the mother's house. Her mother. Had nothing to even do with the properties he had. They was into it. And that's why he had so much access and time to me. She flat out told me, like, no, that birthday party, the reason he couldn't get up with you on Sweetest Day is because our daughter's birthday is that week. So now, all this stuff is playing in my head. And I'm just like, this is a lot. This is a lot. So we pull up to her. He gives her the little whatever. And she speaks. She's like, hey, how you doing? Da, 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 da. She's like, well, I'll see you later, I guess, whatever, to him. And left it alone. She went back in the house like it was no problem. Like I wasn't sitting in the car or anything. And so he's smiling. He thinks this is the funniest thing in the world because he knows she's not going to move. If anything, he know I'll move before she moves. And so I just told him, like, I'm ready to go home. Take me home. Got home, went with my friends, and we all, talking about it. And so I had, like, mixed opinions from my friends. I had one friend like, girl, who cares? She already know about you. Continue to get your money. I had another friend that was like, man, this is toxic. Eventually somebody gonna get hurt. And my sister telling me, like, man, I don't even understand what's going on. Like, I didn't even see this coming. But as long as the brother don't come nibbling on me, I'm cool. I'm just like, girl, okay. And so it was just so many different opinions going on. So I was just like, this is a lie. So the circus was coming up. And my kids love the circus. And so, again, I'm just like, at what point do I draw the line and say I don't want to do this no more? Versus I still necessarily would like to live the life that I was living with this man's money, if that makes sense. So I end up texting him like, hey, I want to take the kids to the circus. He immediately come drop the money off. He like, do you need a car to go, whatever? And it's not that I didn't have a car. He just drove these really nice cars that he didn't care about giving out. And so I'm like, yeah, you could bring me a car. So he brings me his Impala, the one with the nice rims on it, the chrome. I'm telling you, it's really nice. So the kids thirsty, they getting in the car, whatever. I get them dressed. I buy the tickets. We're going to the circus that Sunday. So I tell him, I take a picture of me and the kids, sent it to him, like, hey, we leaving now. I'm like, do you like the outfits? I think we had wore Adidas at the time. And so my cousin, her daughter's party was that same day. So we stopped at the party on the way to the circus. So we get to the circus. We have a great time. I got unlimited money to spend on the kids or whatever because he didn't drop damn near $500 off just for the circus. And so we get back home that evening and I wake up to try to go get some out the car and the car is gone. Like, it's gone. This Impala is gone. And so I'm calling him, but he's not answering. So I text him, I'm like, I went outside, the car's gone. I don't know what the fuck is going on. He like, the car gone. I'm like, no, the car is gone. So it's not, I'm not understanding what the fuck going on. It's like really, really, really tripping me out. And then some came over me and said, that nigga got an extra key and he took that car to test you to see how far you will still like be with him. I don't know where these like little tests was going, but I promise y'all, I knew for a fact, like in my heart of hearts, he took that car. So he playing crazy with me like he don't know that he got this car. So I text her. I said, do he got that Impala? She said, yeah, it's sitting outside the house right now. He's gone in the Cadillac. She said, I'm in the Challenger. The Jeep is sitting right here, and so is the Impala. I said, okay. I texted him back and I went off. I said, I don't know what type of game you playing. And at the end of the day, that's not nothing that you play with nobody, especially knowing, you know, I got kids. I'm thinking I done messed up your car. Your car done got stolen. That's money I don't have to replace this car. And you playing with my emotions like that, like I'm not cool with it. So he ended up calling me back like, no, I came and picked up the car the other day, like later on in the night. And I'm like, why wouldn't you say something? Why let me believe that somebody came and took this car? He was like, honestly, I just wanted to see if you was going to be forthcoming with me about it. And it was so much going on with Jazz, like, I just came and got the car. Oh, she basically said that this man is lying. Like, girl, I did not tell him to come take no car. He's lying. He don't know what he's talking about, so on and so forth. So now I'm just irritated with the both of them. So from then, I never got no car from him no more. And I know that sounds crazy because it's like, girl, he been giving you these cars. He been giving you these cars, but I just didn't want it no more. So time goes on. I go to the doctor. And when I say time, I say like maybe 2-3 weeks. Go to the doctor. I ended up finding out that I have an irregular period. That, like, I guess that it would come and go. So they were really unsure about me being pregnant. So I ended up taking a blood test. It came out negative. No, I was not pregnant. So now I'm like, I gotta wipe that off, y'all. So now I'm like, okay, cool. Not pregnant. So me and him just basically have a conversation. I just tell him, like, I don't want this no more. Like, I don't want this no more. And I'm one of them people that I don't believe in, like, just squashing shit saying, oh, and be done. I give you that closure. Oh, yeah, my mimosa tastes good. I give you that closure. And I know y'all probably like, he didn't even deserve no closure, and he did it. But this was the first road to me trying to get away from him because I have been so addicted to just him. His presence, him being around, what he could do for me. I was addicted to that. And so I didn't know how to not do that because now it has been so much time of me doing this with him. So I let him go for about a month. I'll say like a month and a half. And so I'm on my way headed outside and I get a call from him. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, you know, and I am blocked. So now I'm like trying to figure out, you know, why are you calling me? Y'all, my hair is really bothering me in this camera. But anyway, a month goes by, he calls. I'm headed on my way outside with my friends. I'm focused, tunnel vision. I'm not dealing with him, right? He tell me come outside. Y'all, why did this man got a diamond bracelet, a new car, and everything? Car got a bow on it. So the man took me for saying, I'm not driving no more cars, as in, okay, I'm going to go buy you one. Y'all, as much as I wanted to take that car, I could not take that car. If I really wanted to be done with him, I could not take that car. But what I do, y'all? I took the car. I took the car, took the bracelet, and took my ass outside like, okay, whatever. So I was young, and at the time, my mind was like, what's the worst that could happen? And I keep reiterating that I was young because this could never happen to me now. Like, and let me not say never, because y'all know. But the woman that I am now, like knowing what I knew, none of that would be okay, you know? So go outside, have a good time. I'm talking about a funky good time, y'all. I call him, it's like 2 a.m. Who answers his phone? Yeah, y'all, Jasmine. She answers the phone. Hey, girl, how you doing? I heard you like the car. What? So I've come to now terms that these two, I almost feel like they do this. Like, this is a thing. Like, this is what they do. This is how they get off. This is how they keep things spicy. And I'm just slowly seeing quicker than I need to see. Like, mm-mm. So I'm like, yeah, the car is nice. I'm like, how did you know I got a new car? He was like, oh yeah, he told me, he asked me, if you know, I think you would like it. Okay. So I'm like, well, where's he at? And she like, oh, he right here, da 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 da. So now I know they laid up. I'm outside, they laid up. But he done came and laid these gifts on me, so he know, you know, eventually I'm gonna call. Part 12 of dating a man who killed his children's mother off. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's keep going. So like I said, I now understand that they're laid up, and I kind of feel like it's a setup, like, you know, it was done on purpose. So after she tells me like, oh yeah, he's sitting right here, and I'm like, okay. At first I wanted to talk to him, and then I kind of just was like, nah, I'm ready to get off the phone with the both of them. She goes, so you coming over here with us? Who you talking to, girl? Like, what? And so at that point, I'm like, nah, yeah, this is not it. So now I'm rethinking taking this car. Now I'm rethinking taking this bracelet, because I'm like, nah, I can't do this. And it's kind of like, damn. But like, girl, you knew what was coming, because she made it very clear that she wasn't going to leave him alone. So I ended up just saying, you know what, it's time for me to leave this guy alone. So I did. Like, I really put my best foot forward, and I blocked her. And I just told her, like, I can't be a part of this. I can't do this. Like, I can't sit here and act like I'm okay with this man being with you certain days, being with me, because it had gotten to the point, y'all, before I really, really, really said fuck it and just said, no, I'm done, we did all sit down and go to dinner. Don't ask me why I kept sitting down with this lady, because I genuinely don't know right now. But at the time, I was thinking of my kids. I was thinking of this money going to always make sure I'm straight. And I was putting this money up. Like I told y'all, this man, we would go out of town. I wouldn't have to come out of my pocket for anything. So everything that he was giving me, I could literally stash. And by the time I was done dealing with him, I ain't gonna lie, I had stashed damn near $7,000. Because he was giving me that much at a time. Like, that much. And so we did. We had went out to eat before I had really said, you know, whatever. We all went out to eat, went to Longhorn. That was his favorite place. And I ain't gonna lie, it was my favorite place at the time. This was before they got rid of their lamb chops. So I'm like, okay. I just told him, I said, so if you're going to continue to deal with her and she's going to be okay with it, I can't do this. I'm not even okay with even trying to make this be a thing. And so I'm like, wow, you know, that's a lot. So I'm like, at this point, you know, I love him. I do. But I cannot continue to do this lifestyle, because he's not going to leave her alone. And he's never going to be able to give either one of us 100%. Like, either one of us. So she flat out said, like, she understood. She was like, you know, I've been in that place a million times with him. And at this point, like I told him, you lied to me about everything. Everything that I thought was you, or everything that I thought had something to do with you, you literally took your brother's whole life and just lied about it. I don't know why. And just used it. Like, I don't know. I don't even understand it. So I say, you know what? This is it. Wash my hands. Blocked him, blocked her. He had 3 phones, so I blocked all 3 phones, blocked her, blocked the baby iPad, and we was done. So months go by. I'm talking about months, y'all. Months go by. And I see her at Jewel's. I go to Jewel, and I don't think she knew it was me at the time until she looked at my face. And that's when she saw, like, after. When I immediately saw her and I looked her in her face, I knew exactly who she was. So I went into Jewel's to go get something for my grandmother, and I see her. Now, at first, I kind of wanted to, like, turn my head real quick so she wouldn't give me no conversation. Because I just kind of felt like it was always going to happen. Eventually, me and her was going to get that one-on-one, like, in person. Because, like I told y'all, when we had them one-on-one calls for real, or I ain't even going to say one-on-one calls. When we had them calls, he was around. Like, even when she was dropping the kids off to go to school, he was on the phone and basically, like, harassing her because he knew at some point, like, either she had found something out or she knew something. So I see her, when she finally realizes it's me, she stops and she says, "Hey, is your name Maya?" I say, "Yeah, it's Maya. How are you? Hey, Jasmine." And she was like, "Oh, I didn't even think you would know who I was." I said, "No, I don't forget a face." And so she was like, "How you doing? I know you stopped messing with such and such." And so I'm like, "I'm doing good." I'm like, "It's changing scenery, but I did have enough to save up to give me a new car." The money that I had been getting him, nobody knew up until now. I'm telling everybody now. The money that I went to go put down on my new car, that was the money. And so, side note, I woke up one morning, after I had graduated as a nurse and I was working, I was still riding my little putt-putt though, because I was just being cheap. I was still riding my little Pontiac. And I woke up one day and said, "You know what? I'm going to get me a new car." And that's exactly what I did. I got up, I called off of work, and I went to go buy me a new car. I took my butt to CarMax, and y'all, that was all she wrote. I saw that right then and there what my potential was, who I was, and how dedicated I could be if I did something. This was my first time saving for something with no help, like no mom, no dad, no grandparents, no nothing. This was me being an adult, and I was proud of that. So I think at that point, that was another reason why I did not want to give that lifestyle up with him, because I was pulling so much in independently, and then I was still in college. So like, this independence was pulling, but this college life was pulling, and they was tugging. So this was kind of helping me out. And eventually, I just saw that wasn't going to be it. But anywho, so I took that money and I bought me a car. So I saw her, we talked, and she basically told me, like, she's still with him. She's still in school. And he's still the same. She was like, the difference is, he's not with a female that he actually like. He's just out here doing it. And I asked her, like, at what point, what is it going to take? Like, you have 3 kids with him. What is it going to take? Because eventually your kids are going to continue to see you go through this with him. No, he may not be physically abusive, but he's very much verbally abusive, and he's a manipulator. That's a form of abuse. Manipulating your mind, playing with your mind, playing with your thoughts, playing with your emotions. All of that, that's a problem. That's toxic. And that's the older me talking. But I didn't understand that until I was way, way out of it. So she basically told me, like, she just wasn't in a place right now to pick up and leave. And I wish her the best, y'all. I really did. I wish her the best. So I say about 2, maybe 3 weeks later, I'm going into the beauty supply. I don't know how this man saw me. I don't know from what angle he saw me, but he saw me. Y'all, he saw me. And pulled right up. And I don't know, it's something about seeing a person that makes it all hard all over again to let go. Seeing them. Mind you, it had been months. 2 weeks prior, I see the baby mama. Now I see you at the beauty supply. I'm coming out the beauty supply. Like I said, y'all, I don't know how this man saw me. He pulled right up. "Hey, how you doing? I miss you. Da 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 da." And of course, I miss you too. And I miss that. La la. And I'm like, man, I don't need to be dealing with this man. So he like, "Yeah, I'm finna meet you by the house. Come get in the car with me. Woo woo." Why I go get in the car with him, y'all? I did. Went home, put everything down that I was supposed to got in the car with him. We drove around for a minute. Went and grabbed me something to eat. And gave me some money. He said, "Man, you going outside?" And I said, "Yeah, probably later." "You want a car?" "Nope." And mind y'all, he pulls up in the car that he bought me. So I don't know if it was like, I know she'd be over here, so I'm gonna intentionally ride this car to try to run into her thing, or he was just in the car. I ain't gonna give him too much credit to think he think like that, but you never know. People be kind of crazy in them. So I'm like, man, like, oh, it's so hard. It's so hard because I want to be like, no, I want to. I promise you I want to be like, no, but it's something about this man that had me like shook. So he like, yeah, you're going to take me to the other house and then you can keep this car. Y'all, he got me again. But this time, I learned to play the game the way he taught me. Now it's on 2 players, and he not going to like it. Part 13 of Pregnant by a Man Who Killed His Children's Mother Off. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's keep going. Y'all, so I take the car, go outside, I'm all happy, and I'm just like, man, I didn't see them again. But this time, y'all, when I seen them, what I failed to tell y'all is he has a void sign over the girl Jasmine's name. So I'm like, you and Jasmine broke up? He like, yeah, me and Jazz ain't together no more. So now y'all know I have to see this for my own eyes because he done told me to pull to the other apartment, which is down the street from my grandmother's house, to get this car. So now I want to come upstairs. I'm like, well, I want to come upstairs. I want to spend some time with you. Even though I know he going to let me do what the fuck I want to do because he wants me. He wants I don't know if it's the cat and mouse thing, the chase thing. I don't know what it is, but he wants me. And for whatever reason, I do want him. But I also am not stupid. So I'm like trying to see what's going on. So I go upstairs, y'all. Nothing is in there. Not a woman's perfume, not nothing. That medicine, them kids' medicine, the walker, the playpen. It looked like a man cave, y'all. So I'm like, when did you and Jasmine break up? Because I just saw her not too long ago. He was like, she not going to tell you that we not together. Me and her been not together for like a month. He was like, shortly after you stopped messing with me, I guess she got the balls to, stop messing with me too. And she left. And like, she got that apartment. I got this apartment. I go get the kids, but she left. So in my head, I was proud of her. I'm like, yes, she finally can see the picture. She see the light. I don't have no ties to this man. So I can mess with him, stop messing with him, go mess with him, stop messing with him. And I really ain't going to have too much to leave or pick up because I don't have nothing with him. And my kids was not meeting him. Her, on the other hand, this was her baby daddy. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So I end up going out. I now got this car. So I called him that night. Who answered? Not Jasmine. He answered by himself. Where you at, baby? I'm at home. I said, oh, you a changed man. Both of your women left you and now you in the house? Mm-hmm. It's me with the jokes. So I'm like, okay, I'm finna come over. So I come over. We have a good night. All that. I wake up the next morning. It just didn't feel right. I'm just like, I don't want him. And it's not that I was dealing with nobody else. It's not that I wanted to deal with nobody else. I just didn't want him anymore. I think I have finally got over it. And I think her leaving was just another clear sign. Like, if she leaving, you might as well leave that shit alone. And that's exactly what it was. I left them keys. I had him drop me off. And I just told him it was fun, but I'm good. Boy signing on, I'm cool. So we left each other alone. He never tried to call after that. He didn't. I think he had got to a point where like they both over me and I fucked their lives up enough. I've played enough games, so I'm done. So he ends up just leaving us both alone. Like both of us leaving us alone. Years go by, y'all. Years. I'm talking about years. I had just got my breast reduction surgery. And I see him outside. And when I say outside, I'm talking about the man is outside. He out with the motorcycle club people and everything. And I said, dang, that looked just like him. So I stopped. My sister was like, that is him. My sister in the car with me. Who do we see? It's definitely him. Like, definitely him. Boy sign still right there, y'all. No ring on his finger. Newer cars. More money, more chains. Just more, but no Jasmine. So I stop, I see him. He like, Dad, you look good. You lost a lot of weight. did you get surgery? What happened? I'm like, yeah, I got a breast reduction, lost a lot of weight. I had to, get that weight up off of me. And he was like, you look good. Like, it looked good. And so, we hugged, we saw each other. And so he finally, y'all, apologized. Like, I never thought that would happen. Never in a million years. He apologized. And he was like, you know what? I really do apologize. Like, I did not want to do you and Jasmine like that for whatever reason. I couldn't choose. And he was like, I thought having both of y'all was going to be the best thing, and I end up losing both of y'all. He's like, Jazz is doing really good. She finally didn't graduate. I see the kids on the regular. He's like, but she don't deal with me no more at all. And he was like, and then you stopped. He's like, so the other females, I was dealing with, they were just people that I was dealing with. But it was nothing that it was serious. And I don't even understand why I couldn't decipher between the two. And so I told him, I said, honestly, I think sometimes we get in predicaments where we get too much of a good thing. You had a good girl who really wanted to be your good girl, and then you had a good woman who gave you your children. I was the good girl. I didn't have any kids with you. I was just good. I was innocent. I didn't know anything about the life that you taught me or even gave me outside of the money. My people came with money, so I wasn't worried about that. But it was easier not asking them for it. It was easier just having it. It was easier just to be like, oh, he gonna give it to me. And it sounds good. It feels good to be like, my man, my man, my man. It do. We've all been guilty of it. But to what extent? Like, it feel good to what extent? And so after we talked, mind you, we outside talking. It's the summertime. And he like, man, can we exchange numbers? And I'm like, nah, baby, I can't even go down that road with you no more. Like, that's a toxic road, and I'm just not here for it. I'm not here for it, but I wish you none the best. Like, nothing but the best. And so he was like, I understand that. And so we gave each other a hug or whatever, and he told me, if you ever decide that you want to try again, I'm going to do right by you. Like, and it sounds great, and it's tempting as it was, because it's so much easier to go somewhere where you're comfortable. It's so much easier to be with somebody that you already know emotionally, physically, sexually, financially, all those things. I know him. He knows me. But but the new woman that I am, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was very good seeing him, and it was good to see myself be able to walk away, because so many times I've watched myself get so attached to this man, trying to leave. And I was proud of myself to finally just stand up and be like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't. And so when we left and separated, my sister said, I'm proud of you. She was like, because usually we'd be back on this roller coaster. She said, but you did not let him talk you into nothing. And I said, no, because as much as I would love that life again, and I could use the money and just the extra everything, it's not worth my sanity. And once you get to a peaceful place, you do anything to protect your peace. You really do. And so at this point, I was just over it. I was glad I wasn't pregnant by him. I was glad that I didn't have anything attached, because I saw that it was going down a road that I probably wouldn't be able to control no more. And that wasn't for me. She was already in a place where she couldn't control it. She ain't had nothing to do but be with him. Her back was against the wall as far as she knew. She felt like she didn't have no support, and that was the only thing that she could do, which was be with him and deal with it. And I just didn't want to go years and years and years and years and years and be that woman. So yeah, I hope this was a life lesson and a lesson learned, period, for everybody. It's hard. I will say it is very hard to leave a person when they have gotten you to a comfortable place. It is. But you got to think about you first. Loving a person is cool. Loving other people is cool. But loving you is the bigger thing. Loving you to the point where can't nobody even come in and do that to you. And the fact that I feel like I'm getting to that place even just now at 30 is like, man. So imagine people who go through it, these people who stay married for years and years and years and unhappy and just settle for something because that's what it is, the financial piece. I didn't want to be her. So I definitely learned that lesson. But y'all, this man had killed this lady off. Full blown killed her off. And she was very much alive, very much well. They very much had kids and a whole life together. But I am very, 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 very happy and proud of her that she was able to walk away Because there's nothing like standing up for yourself and being on your own 2 feet, your own 10 toes, and proudly standing on them without having to need nobody. It really is. I hope y'all loved it. I'll see y'all in the next one.